Hello, my dear students. This is Mrs. Shayma Gharib, and today's lesson about how to change fractions into percentage. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to change fractions that can be written over 10 or 100 or 1000 only, not any fractions. Okay? So, let's start by revising some rules before you watch any video. First, you have to sit in a quiet place. You should have your pen and a piece of paper to take notes and to solve questions. You should pause the video after each question, then you try to answer on your own. Then you play the video to check your answer and to understand the question in case you get a wrong answer. Are you ready? Let's start. In this video, we said we are going to know how to change fractions into percentage. So these fractions must be over 100. Why? Because we said before, if you remember, in understanding percentages, we said that we can write any percentage as a fraction over 100. So if I have a fraction over 100, I can easily write it as a percent. So my target is to change the fraction to be a fraction over 100. Okay, let's see an example. So, for example, if I have 1 over 2, so I need this fraction to be a fraction over 100. So I need to change this 2 to be 100. How to change the 2 to be 100? I will multiply it by 50. So 2 times 50 will be 100. And as we said before, in equivalent fractions, I should do the same up and down. So I have to multiply the 1 by 50 as well. So 1 times 50 equals 50, and 2 times 50 equals 100. So the fraction will be now 50 over 100. So if I have a fraction over 100, 50 per 100 or 50 over 100, which means 50%. Is this clear? Now let's try the quarter. I have a denominator of 4. How to change the 4 to be 100? By multiplying by 25 up and down. So 1 times 25 will give 25, and 4 times 25 will give me the 100 that I want. So it will be 25 over 100, which means 25 per 100 or 25%. Okay, is this clear? Now another fraction which is over 4. So any fraction over 4, I'm going to multiply it by 25 up and down. What do you think about this fraction? 2 over 4 is same as 1 over 2. If I simplified this fraction, it will give me half as well. So I know that at the end, it will give me the 50%. So there are some equivalent fractions, such as 1/2 and 2/4. So they will be exactly the same. 2 times 25 is 50. 4 times 25 is 100. So it will be 50% as well. Is this clear? Now, let's try one more fraction, 3/4, as we said. Any fraction over 4, I'm going to multiply it by 25 to give me 100, up and down. So it will be 75 over 100. 3 times 25 gives 75. 4 times 25 is 100, which means 75%. These fractions, or all the fractions that can be written as a fraction over 100, are really, really, really important to study and to know it even by heart. So when you see 3/4, you know by heart that it is 75%. You understand how to change it, but I want you to study them until you know all of them by heart. So what about the 1/5? Now I have a different denominator, which is the 5. The 5 to be 100, I will multiply it by 20. So up and down. So the fraction will be, yes, 20 over 100. So as a percent, it will be 20%. What about the 2/5? If you know the 1/5, you can easily get the 2/5. If the 1/5 is 20%, then the 2/5, which means 1/5 and 1/5, it will be 40%. But let's do the steps and try it with the steps. I will multiply by 20 to change the 5 into 100 up and down as we used to do. So it will be 2 times 20 equals 40. So it will be 40 over 100, which is 40%. Is this clear? Now let's try more fifths. 4 over 5. I will do exactly the same. The 5 to be 100, I will multiply by 20 up and down. And if you know the 1/5 again, that 1/5 equal 20%, then the 2/5 will be 40%, then the 3/5 will be 60%, and the 4/5 will be 80%. So now will be 4 times 20 gives 80, and 5 times 20, 100, which is 80%. What about the 1/8? Can I change the 8 to be 100? What do you think? Is the 100 divisible by 8? No. But I can change this 8 to be 1,000. Is the 1,000 divided by 8? Yes. You can divide the 1,000 by 8. Just find the half of the 1,000 3 times. So half of 1,000 is 500. Half 500 is 250. And half 250 is 125. So if I multiplied the 8 by 125, it will give me 1,000. So I will do the same with the 1. Now, what is the fraction I will have now? I have 125. 1 times 125 gives 125. 8 times 125 gives 1,000. Now, how can I change this fraction into a percentage? Do you remember how we change fractions into decimal? So I can change this fraction into a decimal number. So when I divide by 1,000, it means the number is getting smaller by 3 places, which means I'm going to put a decimal point after 3 places. So 1, 2, then 3. So my number will be, as a decimal number, 0.125. And how do we change a decimal number into a percentage? From the previous videos, if you remember, that when I multiply any decimal number by 100, I will get the percentage. So when we multiply this by 100, it will give me, the decimal point will move 2 places to the right, so it will be 12.5%. Is this clear? So now, let's see more fractions about the 8s. 3/8, I will do exactly the same. We know if I have a fraction over 8, I will multiply by 125 up and down, and I will be following same steps exactly. So it will be 3 times 125 is 375 over 1,000. Then I will change it into decimal, so it will be 0.375, and then I will change this decimal into percentage by multiplying by 100, so it will give me 37.5%. Is this clear? The 1/8 is one of the most important fractions as well, same as all the fractions in this video, so you have to study them all. And as we said before, you should know them by heart as a percentage and as a decimal as well. Okay, so what about the 5/8? I will do exactly the same, multiplying by 125 up and down. So it will be, yes, what do you think? Yes, 625 over 1,000. Then I will change it into a decimal number, which is 0.625. Then multiplied by 100 in order to change it into a percentage. So it will be 62.5%. Now, what about the 1/10? It's very easy. I have 10 and I want to change it into 100. So I will multiply it by 10 up and down. So it will be, as a fraction, it will be 10 over 100, which is, as a percentage, 10%. What about 3/10? I will do exactly the same, multiply up and down by 10. So it will be 30 over 100, which is 30%. And for the 5/10, of course, it's 50 over 100, which is the 50%. And remember, the 5/10 is equal to the half, which is 50% as well. Is this clear? Now let's have our questions time. Are you ready? Change fractions into percentage. So I have 7 over 10. What do you think? I multiply. I need the fraction to be over 100, so I will multiply by 10 up and down. So it will be 70 over 100, which is 70%. 9 over 10 will do exactly the same, 90 over 100, which is 90%. 5 over 10, it's a very easy one, 50 over 100, which is 50%. Is this clear? What about 7/8? When I have a fraction over 8, I multiply it by 125 to have number 1000, because we cannot change the 8 to be 100. So it will be 875 over 1000, then decimal 0.875, then multiply by 100 to get the percentage, so it will be 87.5%. What about the 3/5? So I will multiply the 5 by 20 to have 100 up and down. So it will be 60 over 100, which is 60%. Now look at this question. Adam says 35% is greater than 3/5. Yes or no, and explain. What do you think? So first, I need to change the fraction into percent to be able to answer. If I have 3/5, we said I will multiply by 20 up and down. So it will give me as a fraction, it will be 60 over 100, which means 60%, right? So 35%, of course, is smaller than the 3/5, not greater than. So the answer here will be no. Why? Explain. When you explain, please, you have to write mathematical sentences. Don't write words or paragraph or any. You should include any mathematical facts in your explain question and write it short and to the point. So I will just say that 3/5 equals 60 over 100, which is 60%. So this sentence is enough to be the explanation for this question. Please don't write or don't use words when you answer explain question from this type. You have to prove your answer with a mathematical fact or a mathematical sentences, as you can see. Arrange the following numbers in ascending order. What the meaning of ascending? Ascending, same as increasing order, which means we start from the smallest to the greatest. We have here some fractions and some percentages. So in order to be able to identify the smallest and the greatest one, we need all of them to be the same form. All of them should be percentages or all of them should be fractions. So it's so much easier to change the fractions here into percentages. So 4 over 5, do you remember we said the 1/5 is 20%, then the 4/5 will be 80%. If you don't remember, so you can change it. The 5 should be 100 by multiplying by 20 up and down. So you will get at the end the 80%. So I have 80% and 9%. What about the 3/4? The 3/4 is 75%. Then I have 66% and 1/8. Do you remember the 1/8? The 1/8 was 12.5%. Okay, so now I have all the numbers in percentage form, so I can now arrange them ascendingly, starting from the smallest. So the smallest percent here is the 9%. So I will start with the 9%. I will cross it out, then I will choose which one is the smallest. This one, the 12.5, and remember, I write the number that mentioned in the question, which is the 1/8. So then I will write the 1/8. What comes next, I will cross it out. Then I have 80%, 75%, and 66%. So of course, the smallest one is the 66%. I will cross it out, then I will look which one is the smallest, is the 3/4, which is the 75%. So I will write 3/4. And the biggest one at the end will be the 4/5.
This is the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any question, please feel free to leave a comment, and I will answer you as soon as possible. Please remember that your feedback is highly appreciated. Thank you very much and have a nice day.